QuickBooks Online 2021. Add service items and enter invoices in a service job cost type system. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Online 2021. Here we are in our Get Great Guitars practice problem. We're going to be opening up our financial reports, going to the reports up top, right-clicking on it. We're going to duplicate the tab. Going to do it 2 more times. Right-click once again, duplicate the tab. 1 more time, right-click once again, and duplicate the tab. We're going to have the trial balance on the tab to the far right, then the income statement, and then the balance sheet. Let's go on down to the reports down below. We're going to be typing into the find field the trusty trial balance, the good old TB. Opening that up, we're going to go back up top. Range changed, ending at 12/31/21. Running that report, closing the hamburger, holding control, scrolling up just a bit to get to that 125%. Next tab on over to the left. Reports drop down below. Opening up then this time our P&L, profit and loss income statement. Range change up top, ending at 12/31/21. Run that report, close the hamburger. Next tab to the left, reports down below. Balance sheet's the one we want, so that's the one we click on. Therefore, it's the one we get. Range change up top, ending at 12/31/21. Run it, close the hamburger. Now we're going to be talking about setting up kind of like a job cost type system for a service type of job cost system. It would be similar to a law firm or similar to an accounting firm where we got people that are working for us. We're going to say they're guitar instructors, and we're going to be billing possibly on hourly rates based on their work, or we're going to be billing on set work that they do based on the lessons that they provide. So this would be a standard kind of setup for like an hourly kind of system. Now, as you do this, I'm jumping over to the desktop version just so we can see the flow chart over here. Note that if we have different people working then in our guitar instructors, we might have them then fill out the timesheets, meaning they're going to fill out their hourly work that they have done. This would be a similar thing you do in a law firm or CPA firm. They're going to give us the hours in some way, shape, or form. They could do that directly in QuickBooks or in some other type of format. We would then take their information, apply out the basically hourly rate that we assign to the work that they do, which was one method that we might use for our billing, and then create our monthly invoices, or however often our billing cycle is, whether it be monthly or bi-weekly or weekly or whatnot. We're going to say monthly, and then we'll bill out our customers based on the time that has been given to us. So when you hear like in movies or in people saying it has to be billable hours, I need to be logging in billable hours. If I'm a lawyer or a CPA, that means the hours that you are doing, you're charging your employer, you are assigning to a particular client to call them billable so that the firm can then charge the client for them. So that's what we're thinking about here, but we're thinking about the guitar lessons that are going to be provided. And now we're going to take those timesheets and enter them into the system and charge the clients for it. So going back to the first tab, how we might set this up is to first set up our items that we're going to be used to bill the clients on a monthly basis. So I'm going to go down to the sales tab on the left-hand side. We'll do this fairly quickly here. So I'm going to go to the sales tab, hold down control, scroll down just a bit to get to that 100%. We're going to add items for our 3 guitar instructors. So I'm just going to say I need a new item here. New item, it's going to be a service type of item because we're assuming guitar lessons. This is going to be for Angela Guitar Lessons is what we're going to call it. Lessons. And if I spell anything wrong, I apologize. I'm going to try to do this fairly quickly. So then no SKU description down here. We want that. The rate that we're charging is going to be $150 for Angela's guitar lessons. We'll do it basically, we're thinking hourly on the guitar lessons. Drop down. We're going to say that this could be in the service items, but I want to have another line item specific to guitar lessons on the income statement. So you want to be careful with not having too many line items on the income statement, but I think I'd like to group just by guitar lessons and have my multiple instructors be going to that line item for income. So I'm going to add a new income item just as we go here, adding a new income item, and that's going to be for the guitar lessons. So there it is. And I'm going to say it's income. I'm going to say other primary income. And I'm just going to say this is going to be for the guitar lessons. guitar lessons. Income type of account looks good. Let's go ahead and save it and close it. So there we have that. Is it taxable? No, it's not, because it's a service item. We're not having to charge sales tax on it. Let's save it and close it. And there we have our service item for Angela guitar lessons. And so we're going to do this for our other guitar instructors as well. We're going to imagine we have another guitar instructor called named Jody. She's called Jody. We call her Jody because that's what her name is. I'm going to say it's a service item that we're going to set up for the time that she's going to give us on her guitar lessons. And we're going to say that this is going to be Jody guitar lessons. She's got an interesting style on the guitar that's quite popular amongst our guitar learners here. And it's going to be 190. So that's why we charge 190 for it. So we're going to say that this is going to be guitar lessons. It's going to go to the guitar lessons account. And non-taxable, once again, not taxable. No tax applied here. I'm going to say save and new this time instead of closing it. So save and new for the next guitar instructor. So our next one is going to be Rebecca. So I'm going to say Rebecca guitar lessons. And we'll copy that on down. Put that on the description down here as well. Price here, 100 for Rebecca. And then we're going to say that this is going to be guitar lessons. Guitar lessons. And once again, this is going to be non-taxable item. Let's save it. Let's close it this time. That's the last one. Those are our 3 guitar instructors. Scrolling on down, we've got Rebecca's guitar lessons, Jody's guitar lessons, and what happened to Angela. Okay. So now we're going to imagine that they gave us our timesheets. Now, we could have them enter the timesheets into a computerized system. There's multiple ways we can have them track their time. We could just basically give them an Excel worksheet or just a piece of paper, give us your time on a monthly basis and the clients that you were charged for. And then we would have to put it into our system on whatever period rate that we're going to do this. We're going to say monthly for us. So I'm going to go up top and say, now we're going to start invoicing the customers that were the guitar students for these three instructors. So our first customer is going to be Star Lee, new customer, Star Lee. We're just going to be setting these up as we go. So I'm going to tab on over. I'm going to do a quick setup, and we might want more information, of course, so we can send them our newsletter and whatnot. But we're going to do a quick setup for our practice problem here, and we're going to bill this out on 2/28. For the end of the month billing cycle that we're processing out here. And then we're going to say this is Jody's. This is for Jody, was the instructor. So this is coming from Jody's timesheet. And she's saying that we have the quantity of, we're going to say 5 guitar lessons. We can think of them as guitar lessons. So they might be, how many guitar lessons, which could be for multiple hours, like a set rate per lesson, for example. Or we could think of it basically as an hourly rate. However we want to imagine that being processed out, or however we want to group our billing cycle to make it as easy as possible. So then what's this going to do? Well, it's an invoice, so it's going to be increasing the accounts receivable. Other side then going to the income account, which we set up, which is going to be the guitar lesson income account, a new income account. Let's save it and new. I'm going to say save and new. And let's check that one out first. I'm going to go back on over to the balance sheet here. Hold down Control, scroll up just a bit, scroll back up top. We're going to run the report again. And now we have the accounts receivable increasing. So if we go into the AR accounts receivable, it should be an increasing by Star Lee there for the 950. Back up top. Yes, they are expensive guitar lessons. Jody is a professional instructor. We're going to go to the next tab on over, run the report again. And we're going to go down and say guitar lesson income right there, 950. So now we have another line item for the guitar lessons. That's where the rest of them are going to go. Let's keep on filling them out. We're going to do some quicker data input here for our 3 instructors and their clients. Next customer per Jody's timesheet is Lynn Jackson. Lynn Jackson. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And obviously we would need their email address and whatnot to bill them, but we're just going to do this for the practice problem here and scroll on down. And I'm going to hold Control and scroll down just a little bit. Let's leave it at the 110 and see if that messes anything up rather than 100, which would. So this is going to be Jody's guitar lessons again. That's going to be our item. And we're going to say here there were 10 of them. Woo! So we're going to charge $1,900. So once again, this is going to increase the accounts receivable, the other side then going to that revenue account. Let's save and new again. Save it, new it. Last one for Jody here is going to be Diana. Diana Martinez. I keep spelling Diana wrong. Diana Martinez. And then tab, we're going to set that up and we're going to scroll on down. This is going to be for, once again, Jody. These are Jody's guitar lessons. And we're going to say the hours or number of lessons were 5 here for, once again, that 950. So then I'm going to say save and new, and we'll move on to our next guitar instructor, and they're going to imagine having their timesheet. That being Angela. Angela's first customer was Diana on their timesheet, and it's Miller. This time, Diana Miller. And we're going to say add that. We'll add that. And then Angela down here. This is our second highest, we'll say type in Angela, that we charge $150 for. So we were happy with the prior Jody's timesheet there. So Angela's our second highest billable instructor. We're going to say 6 quantity hours or guitar lessons at the $150, bringing us to the 900 on the total there. So that looks good. 900, and we're going to say save it and new it again. Save and new. Angela's next customer on her timesheet, we're going to say is Jill Gonzalez. I'm not sure I spelled that right, but that's how Jill spells it. That's how Jill does it. And so we're going to go down here and say that this is going to be for Angela's guitar lessons. And then we have the number will be 9 this time. So that gives us a total of 1350. So let's do, she's got one more client. So we're going to say save and new. Do it one more time. This customer is Noah Davis. Tab, and then save that. And this is going to be for Angela again, or no, Rebecca's time that we're on right now. And this is going to be the number then will be for 8 of them. And that gives us the 800. So let's save and new. Now we're moving to Rebecca's list. So her client list was Grace Matthews. I'm not sure I spelled that right, but I'm gonna keep it there. That's how this Grace spells it. And then we're gonna go down and say this is gonna be Rebecca's guitar lessons. And we're gonna say that we have 6 of those. So now we're at the $100. We don't charge quite as much there, but we're still happy to get our $100 there for our org lesson. However, we're billing that out, and we're going to say save and new. We're going to have 2 more for Rebecca. So next is Pam Smith on Rebecca's timesheet. So Pam Smith, adding that. And we'll go on down. This is for Rebecca again. Rebecca. And we're going to say that is going to be 8 of them to bring us to 800. And then 1 more, save it, new it. Actually, that's going to be it. We're going to leave it at that. So we're going to close it up. Those are the 2 for Angela. So we'll close this back up. We're going to go to the next tab over. This is going to be the balance sheet. Hold down control, scroll up just a bit. We're at that 125%. And now we're saying the accounts receivable has increased. So if I go into the receivables, we sent out those invoices. We see down below we have the invoices that we have been sending out and all the activity for it. So here, going back then up top, if I go back then to the balance sheet, we can then go to the next tab over, and that's going to be our P&L. We're going to run that report, freshen it up. We got the guitar lessons now up top at the total of the $8,250 for the invoices we sent out for the billing cycle that we're having here. Opening that then back up. There's our invoices that we sent out. Here are our amounts on the right-hand side. Scrolling back up, I'm going to go back to the income statement. Now note, once again, I entered this in another tab. So we have kind of like general service items and then the guitar lessons. What we did not do when we entered the new item here or the new account is add, say, another guitar lessons per guitar instructor. That would probably be too much detail. We could have put all of these under just general service items, but we might want to break it out on the income statement to guitar lessons. That might be a good breakout for us, but we want to be mindful of how many categories that we want to be putting up top. Now, also note, if I look at the balance sheet over here, we made a lot of adjustments to accounts receivable. We would also want to know who owes us the money if we were actually going to collect on this. So we might want then another report that's going to be providing the accounts receivable by customer. Let's see that by going all the way to the right, right-click on this tab, duplicate that tab, and then we're going to go down to the reports on the left-hand side, reports left-hand side. We want to see the reports for people that owe us money. So I'm going to scroll down to who owes us type of reports. So we got business overview, who owes us. We want the customer balance detail. Let's say customer balance detail. Closing this back out, and range looks good. Going down, here's all the invoices that, of course, we just put in place. This report is showing the open invoices at this point in time. And there we have the 13,473. If I go then back to the balance sheet, we're at the 13,473. So that looks good. Obviously, we would want to manage the tracking of the invoice. We can also do so by going to the first tab over here. We can then go down to the sales item and look at basically the customer center, where we could sort the open invoices here, closing up the hamburger up top. And we could sort the invoices, seeing all invoices or possibly the ones not yet due. And we have a list of our invoices that are outstanding here. We can also think about it by customer, go into the customer tab up top and start to consider the individual customers that owe us money. They give us an indication, of course, in the open items. Drill down then on those customers and take a look at the invoices in that format as well. Note though, as you do this, it's nice to have the report that we saw all the way to the right, because we want to solidify the idea that this is a supplemental report. It ties into a line item on the balance sheet, that being, of course, the accounts receivable line item. So let's go back to the trial balance here. Just double check our numbers. We're going to run the report. This is where we stand thus far. Obviously, when we enter this information into the system, the trial balance is a great report to look at, because we see both the balance sheet and income statement sides, which are affected when we enter an invoice, that being the accounts receivable side of things on the balance sheet and on the income statement, the income account of the guitar lessons. So here's where we stand at this point. So if you want to check your numbers, you can check them out. We'll also be printing this out so you can check them on your own time.